Do you wish you could be the present mom you've always wanted to be, but still need to provide an income for your family? Are you tired of scouring the internet for legit jobs that will replace your income and that you can do from home in your PJs? Hey friend, welcome to the Virtual Assistant Mama podcast. I know you're over there Googling jobs for moms, legit work-at-home jobs, or start a side hustle, yet you can't figure out how to take that first step. So instead, you stay stuck, do nothing, or start random side hustles to try to make quick money. Becoming a virtual assistant is the answered prayer you've been waiting for. My name is Ariana, and I'm a former teacher turned work-at-home mom who replaced my teaching income as a virtual assistant in just 6 months. I did this by taking a step of faith and following the dream that God placed on my heart to be home with my babies. Mama, your dreams pale in comparison to God's dreams for you. Imagine offering services that light you up, working with clients who value you and pay you what you're worth, and having a job that works around your life and not the other way around. This is the podcast for you. It's time to take that first step. Are you ready? Here we go.
Y'all, I cannot believe that it has already been 5 years for me being in the virtual assistant world. I always just think about, I just go back to that day of when I was in labor with my daughter and I still hadn't really figured out what I was going to do that was going to allow me to be home with her. And that was still like a big worry in the back of my mind, even when I was, about to have this baby. And then literally the day that I went into labor with my daughter, I found out about the virtual assistant world. And now here we are 5 years later. I've got a thriving business that allows me to be home with my kiddos most of the time. It's allowed us to pay off so much of our debt, and I've been able to help other mamas just like you do the same thing. So I'm so incredibly grateful. And if you had asked me 5 years ago if I thought we would be here, I would have said, you're crazy. No, that's not possible. But it absolutely is. And I'm just so thankful to God for everything that He's done for my family and also all of the families of the women who I've been able to serve over this time. So in this episode, I just wanted to share with you 5 things that I have learned in my 5 years as a virtual assistant. Number 1 is to always pick a service that lights you up. It's really easy when you jump into the virtual assistant world to just pick a service that you already know how to do. But if it doesn't make you happy and if it doesn't get you excited to work for your clients every day, then you might find yourself in the same feeling of burnout that you might be feeling in your 9 to 5. And I don't want that for you. I want you to pick a service that you absolutely love doing. Some parts of the service might be a little tedious, and that's okay. But overall, you should really love most of the service that you are offering. Okay, so don't just pick something that's easy that you already know. If it doesn't light you up, then it's not the service for you. I started in the realm of social media management because I thought, this is what I already have experience in. This is what I think I would be good at. And yeah, I was good at it, but I did not like it one bit. And so when I finally designed a website for myself, I was like, this is really, really fun. What if I just start doing this for clients? And it was very quickly that I pivoted into just being a website designer. And I am so glad I made that choice because I don't think I still would have been doing this if I had stayed offering social media management as my main service. All right, the second lesson I've learned in my 5 years as a virtual assistant is to make sure that you set firm boundaries. It's really easy to give a little here and give a little there. And before you know it, your clients are able to get a hold of you at all hours of the day, even when you're with your family, and you might be working on the weekends, or in my case, you might find yourself working on Christmas, and that should not ever be a thing unless you want it to be, which I think most people do not. My first year of being in the virtual assistant world, I had gotten out of teaching. I wanted something where I could be with my daughter. And then I had a client who I was offering services for, and she still expected me to do that service for her on Christmas Day. It was a time-specific service. Couldn't skip that day, couldn't move it to another day. She wanted me to do the work for her on Christmas Day. And I was like, nope. This is not what I'm here for. This is not what I'm trying to do. And I very quickly set more firm boundaries, ended up letting that client go because it just was not a good fit for me, and made sure from then on that I set really clear boundaries up front of when I would be able to work, what holidays I would not be working at all, no matter what, how clients could get a hold of me. You guys know I say never give out your phone number to your clients. Always use like a texting app. That way you can like mute notifications during certain times of the day or certain days you're not working. Setting all of those boundaries up front and being firm about them and not letting your clients step over them is going to allow you to have the space to serve your clients better, because you're able to sit down and focus when you're working on their stuff instead of like seeing it in the middle of being with your kids and the chaos and trying to juggle both and it's just a mess. No, set those firm boundaries, have firm times where you're working, and make sure you uphold those boundaries so nobody can walk all over you and you actually have a business that you love. All right, the third thing I've learned in my 5 years as a virtual assistant is to streamline and simplify everything you can. Once I actually made like a process for how I offer my services, it became so much easier for me because I wasn't trying to I wasn't missing doing things for certain clients and doing them for others. I wasn't trying to flounder and be like, okay, what am I supposed to do next? I don't remember. It's been a little bit since I did this. No, once I actually sat down and literally made a checklist of all the things I do for the services that I offer in the exact order that I do them, it made it so much easier. So now I can duplicate my project board for a new client. I just tweak a few things that are custom to their service or their package that they purchased. And then I just go through that checklist, and it's so much easier for me. It's so much easier for my clients because they can see exactly what I'm working on. And it's just a really, really beautiful process that I actually enjoy now. Kind of like tied into this, and this is kind of a bonus tip for you, is make sure whatever service you're offering, you're not making it super custom for every client. It should generally stay pretty similar, and you might just have to tweak like a few things. Like for me, I do website design, so the process is mostly the same, but the number of pages might change, or somebody might have to add on like a shop for their website, so I would set that up. But most things like getting the domain purchase and all the website settings and all of that stuff stay the same. So I really have that streamlined and simplified all in a checklist for me to work through when I do a new project. So I really recommend that you do that for whatever service you picked to offer as well. All right, the fourth thing that I've learned in my 5 years as a virtual assistant is to make sure you're picking a service that businesses are willing to invest in. I mentioned this back in the last episode, but if you're just offering administrative services, yes, clients often want to get that off their plate because they're tired of doing it. And that does open up room for them to focus on new projects. But if they get tight on funds, you're probably going to be the first person that they let go. Okay. So you want to make sure you're picking a service that actually helps a business grow, reach more clients, get more sales. So something where they can actually reach more customers, like social media management, podcast management. You're building that trust with people who are listening to you. They're more likely to buy. Things like that, where your clients get to actually reach more people. Okay, so make sure you're picking that service that businesses are willing to invest in, that actually grows their business and makes them more revenue. And then tip number 5, or I guess lesson 5 of the 5 things I've learned in my 5 years as a virtual assistant, is to only work with clients that you love. Now, sometimes it's hard to tell that right up front when you first start working with a client, but if you get any red flags with a client on the discovery call, it is 100% okay for you to let them know in an email after the call that you don't think you're going to be the right fit, and you could point them in the right direction to find somebody who would be. But I don't want you to work with clients who you don't adore, because then you're going to just have like a more strained relationship with them. It's going to take more mental capacity for you to do the work that you do for them, and you're not going to have a business that you enjoy. Okay, so make sure you're working with clients that you adore, that respect and appreciate all that you do for them, and you will be amazed at what kind of business you can create if you focus on all of these things, all 5 of these things. So let me recap them for you. Number 1 is picking a service that lights you up. Number 2 is setting firm boundaries. Number 3 is streamlining and simplifying your processes. Number 4 is picking a service that businesses are willing to invest in. And number 5 is only working with the clients that you love. If you need help with any of these things, I walk you through all of this in my free workshop, The Number One Way to Start Working From Home. You can register for that at arianavernier.com/free-workshop. And I would absolutely love to help you figure this out for yourself so that in 5 years down the road, you can look back and see, wow, this business has completely changed my life. So go register for that. I can't wait to see you in there. And as always, I love you guys so much, and we will see you next time.
Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I would love to bless you with a free gift as a thank you. All you have to do is leave a review of the show on Apple Podcasts, take a screenshot, and send it to podcast@virtualassistantmama.com. I'll send you a code so you can snag my virtual assistant toolkit for free. And don't forget to come hang out with us in our free community, facebook.com/groups/virtual assistant mama. I'm so honored to support you in your journey to becoming a virtual assistant. Until next week, y'all, keep following the dreams that were placed on your heart so you can be the present mama you've always wanted to be.